Imagine a world where tiny soldiers wage war against colossal, eight-legged beasts. Welcome to the epic battle of army ants versus giant spiders. In the dense, humid jungles of South America, a conflict of biblical proportions unfolds daily. On one side, we have the relentless army ants, nature's most organized and efficient killing machines. These tiny warriors, each no bigger than a grain of rice, move in swarms of millions, devouring everything in their path. On the other side, we have the formidable giant spiders, masters of ambush and venom, some with leg spans as wide as dinner plates. This is not just a battle, it's a war of survival, a clash between two of nature's most fearsome predators. The army ants, with their sheer numbers and coordinated attacks, face off against the giant spider's size, strength, and deadly venom. It's a showdown that would make even the bravest human explorer think twice about venturing into these wild territories. Let's first take a closer look at our tiny protagonists, the army ants. These insects are the very definition of strength in numbers.
Yes.
A single army ant might seem insignificant, but when millions band together, they become an unstoppable force. Their colonies are so large that they don't even build permanent nests. Instead, they form living structures called bivouacs, using their own bodies to create temporary shelters. When on the move, army ants form massive columns that can stretch for miles. They march relentlessly, consuming everything edible in their path. Their powerful mandibles can slice through flesh and exoskeletons with ease. Even larger animals flee in terror when they hear the approaching rustle of millions of tiny feet. But what makes army ants truly formidable is their incredible coordination. They communicate through pheromones, creating intricate chemical trails that guide the colony. This allows them to act as a single, massive organism, adapting quickly to any challenge they face. It's this collective intelligence that makes them such a threat to the giant spiders. Now, let's turn our attention to the arachnid giants that dare to stand against this living flood. The term giant spider encompasses several species, but in this battle, we're focusing on the Goliath birdiator and the Brazilian wandering spider. These are not your average house spiders. These are monsters that can grow to have leg spans of up to 12 inches. The Goliath birdiator, despite its name, rarely eats birds. But don't let that fool you. This tarantula is a formidable predator. Its body can be as large as a human fist, and its fangs can grow up to an inch long. While its venom isn't particularly dangerous to humans, it's more than enough to paralyze its usual prey of insects, frogs, and small mammals. The Brazilian wandering spider, on the other hand, is known as one of the most venomous spiders in the world. Its neurotoxic venom is potent enough to kill a human in severe cases. These spiders are also known for their aggression, often standing their ground and raising their front legs in a threatening posture when confronted. Both of these spider species have several advantages in their arsenal. Their large size allows them to overpower many prey items easily. Their exoskeletons provide excellent protection against smaller predators. And of course, there's the venom, a potent weapon that can immobilize prey much larger than themselves. So, what happens when these two forces of nature collide? The battle between army ants and giant spiders is a spectacle of evolutionary arms race at its finest. It's a clash between the collective might of the many and the individual power of the few. When a column of army ants encounters a giant spider, the initial confrontation is often in the spider's favor. The first few ants to approach are icily dispatched by the spider's powerful fangs or knocked away by its large legs. But this is where the true strength of the army ants comes into play, their relentless persistence. For every ant that falls, 10 more take its place. The ants swarm over the spider, biting and stinging. They aim for vulnerable spots, the joints between leg segments, the sensitive areas around the eyes. Each individual bite might not do much damage, but hundreds or thousands of bites begin to take their toll. The spider, for all its size and strength, begins to falter under this onslaught. It tries to shake off the ants, to crush them with its legs, but for every ant, it manages to dislodge, more climb, onto its body. The spider's movements become slower, more erratic, as the constant biting and stinging begin to affect its nervous system. In some cases, a particularly large or strong spider might manage to escape the swarm, climbing up into the trees where the ants can't follow. But more often than not, the outcome is inevitable. The spider, overwhelmed by sheer numbers, eventually succumbs. Once it stops moving, the ants waste no time. They begin to dismember the spider, carrying pieces of it back to feed their colony. This might seem like a gruesome end for such a magnificent creature, but in the harsh world of the jungle, it's simply nature's way. The nutrients from the spider's body will help sustain the ant colony, allowing them to continue their never-ending march through the forest. It's important to note that this battle isn't one-sided. Giant spiders have their own strategies for dealing with army ants. Many species have developed keen senses that allow them to detect approaching ant columns from a distance. When they sense danger, they often retreat to higher ground or seal themselves in their burrows until the ants pass. Some spiders have even developed specific anti-ant defenses. The golden silk orb weaver, for example, incorporates a special type of silk into its web that produces a scent that repels ants. Other spiders have been observed creating barriers of silk around the base of their webs to prevent ants from climbing up. The conflict between army ants and giant spiders is more than just a fascinating spectacle of nature. It's a prime example of the complex ecological relationships that exist in our world's most diverse ecosystems. These battles, played out countless times across the jungles of South America, help to maintain the delicate balance of these environments. Army ants, in their role as nature's cleanup crew, help to control populations of insects and other small animals. Their raids prevent any one species from becoming too numerous. Giant spiders, as apex predators in the invertebrate world, play a similar role higher up the food chain. The ongoing conflict between these two forces ensures that neither becomes too dominant, allowing for the incredible biodiversity that characterizes these tropical forests. Moreover, this battle showcases two different evolutionary strategies. The army ants represent the power of cooperation in numbers, while the giant spiders embody the strength of the individual. Both approaches have proven successful, allowing these species to thrive for millions of years. As we observe this epic clash, we're reminded of the incredible adaptability of life on our planet. From the microscopic to the gigantic, every organism has its place in the grand tapestry of nature. The battle between army ants and giant spiders is just one thread in this intricate weave, but it's a thread that captures our imagination and reminds us of the wonders that exist in the natural world. So the next time you find yourself in the lush jungles of South America, listen closely. That faint rustle you hear might just be the sound of millions of tiny feet marching towards their next epic battle. Or it could be the subtle movement of a giant arachnid, preparing to defend its territory against the oncoming swarm. Either way, you're re-witnessing one of nature's most incredible conflicts,